Hey there, and welcome back to the channel. If you're someone who's constantly waking up at 3 a.m., staring at the ceiling, feeling wide awake when you should be deep in dreamland, you're definitely not alone. And if you're over 60, there's a very good chance your cortisol levels are playing a major role in those frustrating middle-of-the-night wake-ups. Before you reach for another sleeping pill, I've got incredibly good news. Today, we're diving into 5 powerful foods that can help lower your cortisol levels naturally and get you back to sleeping through the night. These aren't exotic superfoods. These are accessible, delicious foods that work with your body's natural rhythms. So grab a cup of tea, get comfortable, and let's talk about how you can finally reclaim your sleep after 60. And if you find this helpful, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. Understanding the 3 a.m. wake up. Let's understand what's happening when you wake up at 3 a.m. You go to bed tired, fall asleep fine, but suddenly your eyes pop open in the middle of the night. Your mind starts racing, maybe you feel anxious, and getting back to sleep feels impossible. Here's what's going on. This is caused by a cortisol spike. Cortisol is your body's primary stress hormone. It's supposed to be lowest at night and gradually rise in the early morning to help you wake naturally. But when this pattern gets disrupted, especially as we age, cortisol can surge at the wrong times, jolting you awake. And here's the thing about being over 60. Our bodies naturally produce more cortisol as we age, and we become more sensitive to it. Add in stressors like health concerns, life transitions, medications, or chronic inflammation, and you've got a recipe for those 3 a.m. wake-ups becoming regular. The relationship between what we eat and cortisol is profound. Foods can either fuel those nighttime spikes or help regulate them. That's what we're focusing on today. 5 specific foods shown to lower cortisol, especially in people over 60. Food number 1, fatty fish. Let's start with fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, and sardines. The science here is fascinating. Fatty fish are loaded with omega-3 fatty acids, particularly EPA and DHA. These omega-3s are like anti-inflammatory warriors. Multiple studies show omega-3s can reduce cortisol levels, especially during stressful situations. One study found people who regularly consumed omega-3s had lower cortisol responses when faced with stress. For people over 60, this is especially important. As we age, inflammation increases. Scientists call this inflammaging. This chronic inflammation triggers more cortisol production, creating a vicious cycle. Omega-3s in fatty fish break that cycle by reducing inflammation, which helps regulate cortisol. Another bonus, these omega-3s support better sleep quality by helping your body produce melatonin more effectively. So you're not just lowering cortisol, you're improving overall sleep architecture. My recommendation? Get at least 2 servings of fatty fish per week. That could be grilled salmon for dinner, sardines on whole grain toast, or mackerel salad. If you're not a fish person, a high-quality fish oil supplement works too. But check with your doctor first, especially if you're on blood thinners. Food number 2, dark chocolate. Now for something that'll make you smile. Dark chocolate. Yes, dark chocolate is actually a powerful, cortisol-lowering food when consumed correctly. Dark chocolate, particularly 70% cocoa or higher, contains flavonoids, plant compounds with remarkable stress-reducing properties. Research shows dark chocolate can lower cortisol levels and increase serotonin production in your brain, helping you feel calmer. One interesting study found that eating about 1.5 ounces of dark chocolate daily for 2 weeks significantly reduced cortisol levels in highly stressed people. That's medicine we can all enjoy. Here's the key for those over 60. Choose dark chocolate with minimal added sugar. Too much sugar can spike cortisol, so look for high cocoa content chocolate, 70%, 80%, even 85% if you can handle the bitterness. The darker, the better for those beneficial flavonoids. Timing matters too. Have your dark chocolate as an afternoon treat, not before bed. Chocolate contains small amounts of caffeine, and we want your body to process that before bedtime. A square or two in mid-afternoon can help regulate cortisol for the evening. Food number 3, bananas. Food number 3 is one of the most accessible options, bananas. These humble fruits are powerhouses for cortisol regulation. Bananas are rich in nutrients that work together to lower cortisol and promote sleep. They're loaded with potassium. A medium banana has about 400 milligrams. Potassium helps regulate blood pressure and counteracts cortisol's negative effects on your cardiovascular system. When potassium levels are optimized, your body manages stress responses better. Bananas also contain vitamin B6, crucial for producing neurotransmitters like serotonin and GABA, your brain's natural calming chemicals. And bananas contain tryptophan, the same amino acid in turkey. Your body converts tryptophan into serotonin and then melatonin, your sleep hormone. For people over 60, this is particularly beneficial because natural melatonin production decreases with age. By eating tryptophan-rich foods like bananas, you're giving your body the building blocks to produce melatonin naturally. Best time to eat a banana for cortisol control? About an hour or two before bed. Have it alone, sliced over Greek yogurt, or blended into a bedtime smoothie with almond milk and cinnamon. Simple and effective. Food number 4, leafy green vegetables. Moving to food number 4, leafy greens like spinach, kale, Swiss chard, and collard greens. The benefits for cortisol regulation are undeniable. Leafy greens are packed with magnesium, absolutely essential for cortisol regulation. Magnesium is called nature's relaxation mineral. Studies show magnesium deficiency is directly linked to increased cortisol and poor sleep. Here's a concerning fact. Nearly half of older adults don't get enough magnesium. When you're low in magnesium, your stress response system goes into overdrive, producing more cortisol than it should. This creates chronic stress that wrecks sleep patterns. But consuming magnesium-rich foods like leafy greens helps calm your nervous system, lower cortisol production, and improve your ability to transition into restful sleep. Leafy greens also contain folate and B vitamins supporting healthy neurotransmitter production. Plus, they're loaded with antioxidants combating oxidative stress associated with elevated cortisol. For people over 60, incorporating more leafy greens is especially important because nutrient absorption can decrease with age. These vegetables are versatile. Sauté them with garlic, add to soups, blend into smoothies, or enjoy a big salad. Try for at least 1 to 2 servings of leafy greens daily. Your cortisol levels and entire body will thank you. Food number 5, fermented foods. Finally, food number 5, fermented foods like yogurt, kefir, sauerkraut, and kimchi. This might surprise you because we're talking gut health, but the gut-cortisol connection is crucial, especially as we age. Your gut and brain are in constant communication through the gut-brain axis. Here's something fascinating. About 95% of your body's serotonin is actually produced in your gut, not your brain. When your gut microbiome is imbalanced, it triggers inflammation and increases cortisol production. Fermented foods are rich in probiotics, beneficial bacteria maintaining a healthy gut environment. Research shows consuming probiotics can lower cortisol levels and reduce anxiety. One study found people eating probiotic-rich yogurt daily for several weeks had lower cortisol and felt less stressed. For people over 60, maintaining gut health becomes even more critical. As we age, gut bacteria diversity naturally decreases, and we're more susceptible to imbalances. This contributes to inflammation, poor sleep, and elevated cortisol. By regularly consuming fermented foods, you're supporting a healthy gut microbiome, which helps regulate stress hormones. Start with small amounts, a few ounces of plain yogurt with breakfast or a forkful of sauerkraut with lunch. Look for products saying live and active cultures to ensure you're getting beneficial probiotics. Remember, consistency is key. Include these foods regularly in your diet. So there you have it. 5 powerful foods that can help lower cortisol and finally get past those 3 a.m. wake-ups. Fatty fish rich in omega-3s, dark chocolate with high cocoa content, potassium and tryptophan-packed bananas, magnesium-rich leafy greens, and gut-supporting fermented foods. The beautiful thing is, these foods work with your body's natural processes. You're not masking symptoms. You're addressing the root cause of nighttime cortisol spikes. When you make these foods regular parts of your diet, you might find yourself sleeping through the night, waking refreshed, and feeling more energized. Remember, changes won't happen overnight, but give it a few weeks of consistently incorporating these foods, and you should notice real improvements. If you found this helpful, give this video a thumbs up, share it with someone who could benefit, and subscribe for more health tips designed for those navigating life after 60. Sleep well, friends, and I'll see you in the next video.